stucco walls and red-tiled roofs. Architect William Pereira designed the lovely buildings that reek of charm and dignity. Pepperdine is one of the most attractive campuses in the United States as well as the world. Next up at 18, Rice University, Houston, Texas. Rice University is a school with a small campus of just 295 acres, but it doesn't take a lot of space to create a stunning and beautiful landscape. The wooded areas offer a lush green backdrop for the 4,200 shrubs and trees which have been planted in the Lynn R. Lowry Arboretum. This offers an excellent environment for training new botanists in an
Let's put that aside for the moment. The one drawback that I see with the national accreditation is that it's generally not recognized by regionally accredited universities. So let's say hypothetically you wanted to transfer credits from University of the People into a, well, I would say more traditional university, one that's regionally accredited. You may not be able to transfer those credits. But apart from that, this program does check the box of being accredited. Now, third point, also pretty important, is the quality of education. Admittedly, this is probably a bit subjective because everyone has different preferences when it comes to learning. However, this is where you'll realize how the university is able to charge such a low price for their programs. First point to note is that all the instructors are volunteers.
Integrated program that combines the grounds of the school with programs of study. The architecture of the university was constructed in 1911, just 1 year prior to the establishment and opening of the university. Lovett Hall is a Mediterranean-themed building of stone and brick based on the genius of architect Ralph Adams Cram, along with input from Edgar O'Dell Lovett, former faculty member and inaugural Rice president. Number 17, Cornell University, Ithaca, New York. From a distant view of the prestigious Cornell University, one can see that the Ivy League institution was set on one of the most advantageous parcels of ground to achieve the most spectacular natural beauty for the surrounding environment. The main campus grounds encompass 4,800 acres with densely wooded areas and other trees and shrubbery. The view from East Hill offers a spectacular picture.
And then I've had a lot of really great instruction from free resources online from YouTube. So it really depends. So while there's still structure to these courses, the way that the university keeps their costs low is that they use what they term as open education resources versus traditional textbooks. Now, what is open education resources? These are literally just online links to different resources that you can access on your own if you really wanted to without having to be in this program. And they can actually be Wikipedia links. They can be links to other resources that other universities have put together. But as opposed to you finding all these resources on your own, the benefit here is that, or at least the stated benefit, is that these...
That is frame-worthy. Several of the buildings on campus are listed on the US National Register of Historic Places. Among the most notable is Bailey Hall, the largest structure with a huge auditorium built in a Greek Revival style in 1912. The structure is the design of architect Edward Green, who is also an alum of Cornell. The college was officially founded in 1865. The university sits in a tract of land that was donated by former Senator Ezra Cornell. Then at 16, Yale University, New Haven, Connecticut. Yale University is one of the top 3 American universities among the elite class of Ivy League schools. The main campus sits on an 837-acre parcel of land which has been carefully laid out with some of the most sophisticated and richly decorated structures in the area. The architecture is styled in a Gothic Revival design, and one of the most awe-inspiring among them is the Sterling Memorial Library. The architect in charge of design was James Gamble Rogers, who completed the first structures in 1931. The level of intricate detail on the interior and the exterior, along with the reliefs, stained glass...
in the company, but then there's a lot of stuff I have to Google or find on YouTube. Now, I would say the one drawback is that I haven't actually seen exactly which links they use for some of these courses, but depending on what those resources are, you may or may not be getting something that's been fully edited or peer-reviewed. For example, when I read a textbook, even if the material and content and the way that it's presented is a little bit on the drier side, at least I can
window panes and gargoyles gives the building a one-of-a-kind sensory impact upon admirers. The school was founded in 1701, with its official opening in the New Haven location in 1718 as Yale College, receiving the new name Yale University in 1887. Then at 15, Berry College, Mount Berry, Georgia. One of the most sophisticated and beautiful campuses in the United States is found at Berry College. The school is set upon a parcel of 27,000 acres of forests, fields, and there is a mountain in the background to complete the natural and spectacular aesthetics with stunning viewpoints, although the environment is breathtaking.
$860. So while there's no tuition, a lot of these fees are going to add up to thousands of dollars that Again, if you're coming into this program thinking everything's free, you're going to be a little bit disappointed. That being said, it's still amongst the least expensive options for a degree out there. To add, there's also financial aid options that can make these programs even more accessible. The second point is accreditation. If you're going to be spending money on a degree and you're going to spend the time to pursue that, you want to make sure generally that the university is accredited by a third-party agency that says, hey, we've looked at this program and everything looks good. The institution is accredited by the DEAC, which is the Distance Education Accrediting Commission, which is a national accreditation. Now, if you were to research this topic, really what you'll be researching is the difference between a nationally accredited university and a regionally accredited.
The architecture of the buildings on the campus are sophisticated and dripping with charming magnificence. Number 14, Princeton University, Princeton, New Jersey. Princeton University is one of the most magnificent campuses to behold. When you look at the school from the front, you are taken with the Gothic architecture of the front of the structure. The buildings are linked together by a grand archway and clock tower with a passageway through the centre in an English Gothic theme. The entrance is surrounded by a lush green offering of trees and a terraced portion leading to the front with ample greenery. The interior of the campus grounds features modern buildings designed by a variety of creative geniuses, including the Lewis Library by architect Frank Gehry, with some of the more
courses, or rather these resources, are selected and they're curated to create the course structure and the course content. So it's not just a hodgepodge of different links that have no connection. It's all relevant and it all makes sense within a course. Now, this may feel really cheap, for lack of a better term, but in reality, it's not that bad of an idea. Me personally, I've learned about as much, if not more, from free online resources than I have in many years of schooling and textbooks and formal education. And even when it comes to my career, if I'm trying to figure something out, of course there's a lot of resources with it hidden, but it's also not very intuitive when you look at the main advertising that the university does. The expenses you do end up paying is, although you don't pay tuition, you do pay fees per exam that you take, and those fees can range from $120 per exam to $240. Not only that, the number of exams you take can vary by program. As an example, an MBA through University of the People is going to run you about $2,940, while a bachelor's in computer science is estimated at $4,000 university. Now, in my opinion, accreditations are more or less a secondary element to the school's actual reputation and brand, and any traditional universities, since they have a regional accreditation, they're also universities that have been around for many decades or a century plus. So that's probably what I care a little bit more about, is what kind of history does the university have. Now, different accrediting bodies have different standards by which they measure a university to judge whether that institution should be accredited by that agency. But short of it is, I would say it's difficult to say, really, as it stands with accreditations, to say this one is clearly better than the other one in terms of the standards that they have for universities. So it's pretty much all volunteer based. And there does appear to be some criteria as it relates to educational background that University of the People requires, and perhaps some other elements are included, like work experience, to see where the instructor might best fit within the different programs that the university has to offer. But these aren't the professors that you're thinking of as you think of traditional universities. In my view, this is not necessarily a bad thing. I've certainly, in my time in school, traditional universities, I've had some professors that I didn't learn very well from, that I didn't think were all that great.